Distracted driver, let us go to work for you. It's more to us. It's personal.
We have two very talented UTC actors on the show with us this morning. This is Ellen Rich, Kaiten Taylor, and they are getting ready to present a show that is about to hit Broadway, actually, in a couple of weeks, and we're lucky enough to have it hit our stage first. It's called John Proctor is the Villain. Good to see you both.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
So I was chit-chatting with Steve Ray, who is your director, while y'all were getting mic'd up, and I kept thinking, John Proctor, I know that name, name. From The Crucible, right?
Yeah.
So this is some kind of a spin, I'll let y'all tell the tale, on a different viewpoint of The Crucible.
Yeah, so our play, it takes place in a one-stoplight town in Georgia, inside a high school, and we follow the lives of these high schoolers studying The Crucible. And it also takes place during the wake of the Me Too movement. And so as truths are being revealed on kind of this global scale, they also have truths being revealed in their own hometown. And from that, they're able to draw parallels from The Crucible, and questions are asked, and they're kind of grappling with the question, is John Proctor the hero we were always taught he was?
Okay, so each of you has a role you play. You, Kaiten, play a girl named Beth.
Yes.
Is that right? And then Ellen, you play a girl named Shelby.
Correct.
So are some of you in the group more open to this idea of seeing him in a different light than others, or where does the
Yeah, so my character is sort of the front runner in this idea. No one else really is on board with it at first. And it's an interesting take because we get to see that acceptance doesn't come right away in these new ideas, and we get to see all of them in their own time kind of grapple with that. I know, Kaiten, your character struggles with it a little more.
Yeah, Beth is like she's like the straight A student. She's always done well in school, and I think that's like a lot of who she is.
Right.
She's built a lot of herself around that. And so to suddenly have her friend, but like someone she trusts, but also questioning the teacher, and that's pretty crazy to her. And so I think she has to grapple with like finding her own place in the world and finding the power to question what she's been taught.
You know, and isn't that true? I think art is such an interesting study when you really get down into it, because it gives you just kind of a platform to safely pursue the idea of questioning or seeing the world in a different way. But questioning doesn't always mean one particular thing. I mean, any of us today in our day-to-day life might be presented with something that doesn't quite sit right, and you have to find the power to question that, or be true to yourself.
Yes,
Either
and
way.
We do that in many ways throughout the show, like not just like questioning ideas, but questioning how we should behave. There's screaming and dancing and like all these ways that these teenagers are acting. We get to see that's maybe not always acceptable in every day, but it's truthful, and we get to see that play out.
So I don't want to give anything away, and look, if you ever read The Crucible, then you might be rolling your eyes, right? I mean, that's a hard read. Nothing fun about reading The Crucible. So to think about, do you agree?
I mean, I like The Crucible,
I have PTSD
but maybe I'm
with
a
The
nerd.
Crucible.
I read it twice in high school, and like I chose to do it the second time. That was insane.
You're a masochist.
Yes, I was. But I was in deep. I was like, and I believed it because that's how it's presented to you. I was like, oh yes, John Proctor, he's a flawed man, but he's ultimately good and sacrifices himself. But
Yeah. So the premise of it, if you didn't read, and I've forgotten a lot because it was not my favorite, but yeah, John Proctor is a married man who finds himself attracted to some younger girls, and some things occur. You can kind of read between the lines, but he is perceived to be the hero in this whole thing. And then I guess this show begins to question, maybe he was the one who set up this whole domino fall. Is that right?
Yeah, and it also just, it re-examines it from the perspective of, well, what about Abigail Williams? What about these girls? What about their stories that we were so often taught to just cast aside? And this play, it really highlights those girls' stories that we read in Arthur Miller's play, but through the lives of these teenage girls who are growing up and discovering who they are.
Right. I like the line about what about Abigail Williams, because I remember when I would read history, you tend to think that history was made by the people who were in the history books.
Yes.
But the truth is, it's the people who you'll probably never hear about who made the history, the power of the individual. Yeah. So is this a little bit different from anything y'all have ever done before? And is it super fun to have it be in your own backyard in North Georgia? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm personally, this is the most fun I've ever had working on a show.
Yeah.
It's been such a unique experience. I mean, the way the playwright writes these characters, she paints them in such an authentic light, and getting to go on stage and dance and scream our heart out and just be playful on stage together. It's been really unique.
Yeah, that's right. You have to be high schoolers again.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Yes, and it's such a blast from the past because I was a high schooler in 2018, and so like listening to the music, or yesterday we just did costumes for the first time, and we had our scrunchies on, and I said, oh, I'm back. I'm back in 2018. And so it's also been sort of a bonding thing because some of our younger cast members are only 19, and so they were young in
Yeah,
2018.
they don't remember it.
And so we've gotten to sort of like bridge that generational divide and
Yeah.
like come together stronger. It's been
Okay,
really sweet.
so I love it that you're doing a week run, or a weekday run. So you open on a Tuesday, April 8th, and you run through the Saturday, April 11th, April 12th rather. Is that
Yes,
right?
correct.
Do they get tickets at the theater, or should they go online to get them?
You can show up to our box office at the UTC Fine Arts Center, or they can go online to utc.edu/theater with an RE, or call our box office.
Okay, well, break legs.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll try again on the Crucible, but this might be my better way in. utc.edu/theater with the RE, as she said. Go and support them. John Proctor is the villain, I think.
Construction continues on the 2025 St. Jude Dream Home. This house could be all yours, plus you're helping the children and families of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And if you reserve your ticket now before April 26th, you're also eligible to win 10